Demonstration you want? Fire away.
You believe in having one leg day as opposed to a separate hamstring day and quad day?
I like to do the whole thing all in one workout. I mean, I've tried separating it, but I feel I actually get a better contraction in my hamstrings after I've done quads and I've got the blood in the hamstrings and everything. And as far as calves go, I think if you've got weak calves, a lot of people have a problem with calves. I'll probably recommend doing that on a different day, just because if you do it after you've done quads and hamstrings, it takes so much physical and mental energy to do that. You're going to be a little bit drained when you come to calves. With me, it was always a strong body part, so it didn't really matter that I was doing it at the end. I was a little tired and so on. It didn't bother me. So, but yeah, sure, there's a good argument for separating calves and doing it on a separate day.
I want to ask this question. So what is different? What would you recommend to do on a leg press to build up your outer sweep, your outer quad? Close grip? I mean,
outer sweep, you're emphasizing a slightly closer stance, yeah. If you go wider, then you're going to be working more the adductors, the inner thigh, right?
And how far do you come to bring it down?
I'll show you. I mean, every machine will. First of all, get the backboard down, yeah? I see a lot of people putting it up. That's because they're going to get a 2-inch range of motion before the knees hit the chest, and they can put a lot of weights on there and press everybody, but you're not going to get a lot out of it, right? You've got to get a full range.
And it's all about maximization.
So, you know, narrow, medium stance. What you want to do is lock yourself in here. You don't want to rotate your hips back, yeah? Come down as far as you can, where it gets to a point where you know your quads are gone as far as they can. You go any further, your hips start rotating at the bench, and you're just putting stress on your lower back. So keep everything really tight and locked in. Breathe in, all the way down, nice and tight, on the way up. Do you need to absolutely lock out on the knees? Not really. I mean, I would just keep going. As many as I can. When I feel I'm really failing, I might lock out at the top, take a few breaths, have a little pause, come down maybe one more, and I always have somebody on the side or at the back, just in case, you know, for safety reasons. And also, if you're working on your own, you're never really going to go to failure, because you're always going to be aware that you don't want to get stuck under a few hundred pounds on the leg press. Yeah? So that's one of my key mass builders, really. Well, I like to pre-exhaust first, do leg extension. Do the leg extension first, pre-exhaust the quads, and then come on, do the pressing movement. Leg press, hack squat, or Smith machine squat.
The fact that you don't do lunges, right? You don't like to do lunges, or
lunges, I mean, if you do a sport or something like that where balance is important and everything, but I just want to isolate these quads and I want to absolutely hammer them, take them to failure. I can't do that on a lunge. It's like more of a balance thing.
Right, but for your glutes and stuff like that.
For glutes, I mean, if you really want to emphasize on the glutes, lunge is a good exercise, but I mean, squat is a better exercise. You do a squat with a wide stance, bend forward, and you're gonna work your glutes. But you know, how many people really just see on stage, oh, that guy's got really weak glutes? Not very often, man. You see people with weak legs, you know.
Dorian, do you find any difference in foot placement from top to bottom, as far as emphasizing more like thickness around your kneecap as opposed to like higher?
If you put your feet higher, you're going to shorten the range as far as your quads go, and you're going to be using more hamstring and glutes. So. Yeah, great if you want that, but how many people need that? You know, most people want to concentrate on the quads, so I wouldn't have the feet too high, you know? And every machine is constructed differently, so you just got to feel it, trying to position it where you're using quads to do the majority of the work. You know?
Yeah, because I have more like leg development down the bottom as opposed to the top. A lot of people who had good leg development that I was talking to said to keep your feet a little bit higher and kind of focus. It hits like up a little bit higher, get down, and you crunch your knees up, you get more of like a range of motion. I didn't know if that was true or not.
You put your feet higher, you're just going to start using your glutes and your hamstrings more.
Did you always squat first in your leg workouts? Was that always the first movement you did, or?
No, I mean, I used to do squats when I was younger, and I thought, you know, I read all the magazines and books and everything, and everyone said that's the #1 quad exercise, #1 for legs. You're not going to get big legs without it. So, you know, I dedicated myself to it for a few years when I started out. I got some injuries. I got some okay leg development, not great. They were lagging a little bit behind my upper body. It was the little injuries that I got around my hips, because I got quite narrow hips for somebody of my size. That kind of forced me to like reassess it. Well, maybe it's not the best thing. Let me try and do leg press and hack squat and stuff instead. My legs exploded, much better. For me, the squat was really overrated. It wasn't a good quad exercise. Great overall exercise. Great if you're doing sports, if you're playing football or something like that, any kind of sport. If you ask me what's the best overall round single exercise, I would say squats. Great all-round exercise. Quads, you do high reps, it's great for a cardiovascular system, it's great for overall strength. Is it great for building championship legs? For some people, yes. If their structure means that when they squat, they're doing most of the lifting with the quads, it's great. For me, it wasn't, because I was doing most of the lifting with my back and my ass, and it wasn't great. So I didn't do any free weight squats as a professional bodybuilder, not a single squat, yeah? And I won 6 Mr. Olympia. So, you know, you got to find if it works for you. If it's not working, don't like, well, I got to keep doing it because I read it's the best thing, you know? It's not for everybody. I got better quad development out of doing this, out of doing hack squats. If I do a hack squat, I'm lifting everything with my quads. There's no lower back, no glutes, you know? So I can go to failure. Can you go to failure, really failure on squats? No, because your lower back's going to give out first before your quads do. So for me, it's a very overrated exercise. For somebody else, it might work great. You just got to find out for yourself, you know? What's the hack squat?
Over here.
Go all the way down, outer sweep, lower quads. That's all quads, man. I can go to failure on here. Total failure with the quads. That's how this machine works.
Dorian, what sort of position would you recommend if you really want to hit the sweep on your outer thigh on any?
Fairly close stance. Yeah. You come out wider. You're working more inner. You know, it depends what you want, right?
Do you find much benefit by just absolutely bottoming out as far as range of motion?
Oh yeah, go all the way down.
So basically,
just you know, be controlled. Definitely don't like bounce at the bottom. Put a lot of strength. But if you control it, then there's no problem.
I always notice guys with good legs always squat deep. Well, not squat, but any type of pressing, they always go.
I always squat right past the forearm or his machine, the same thing.
That's probably also good for separation, muscle separation.
Muscle separation is genetic, and combination and getting your body fat really low. There's no exercise that increases muscle separation. It's complete myth. It's some people that put serrations in there when they get really lean. Some people don't, you know. It's nothing to do with what exercise you do. It's a genetic formation.
Give advice to someone who needs more inner leg mass, quad. Would you directly stimulate it with like a hip abduction, or whatever the movement is, whatever it's called? Or would you just be doing like a wide leg?
All those machines are a total waste of time. Yeah? Right. They're just for ladies who think that, you know.
So basically, just get like a wide stance leg
press. Much better off. Leg press. Wide, toes out. Bring your knees down towards your armpit. And as you push up, kind of squeeze in. like that.
Right. Just hit it with a compound.
I train a few people, and I notice there's a lot of people that do leg press, and when it gets really hard, when they go towards failure, they start doing this. Their knees start going in, and that shows me that they've got a weakness here. So, and these muscles are big. They grow real easy. So I'll have them a few workouts, do leg press like this, just to build up the strength there. And generally, after a few weeks, they've built up so much strength, they no longer have that problem, you know. And usually, they don't have to continue doing it, you know. Just now and then, you can do a wide set just to maintain kind of thing, you know.
Have you done anything unusual to develop legs? Like, had you done lunges or anything that's not so traditional?
Well, I haven't done lunges. I think they're a waste of time. Silly exercise.
Can you explain how you think that?
Pardon?
Can you explain how you think that?
Because as a bodybuilder, I'm trying to develop my quads, or I'm trying to develop my hamstrings. If you're doing lunges, there's like a balance involved. I'm not saying it's useless. If you're doing sports and so on, it's probably great because you've got balance and all those muscles are working together. But it's impossible for me to go to muscular failure with my quads on lunges. It's just, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather isolate it and focus on what I'm trying to do. I know a lot of ladies like to do lunges because they think, oh, this is really working my body. But listen, you do a squat and you sit down on the floor with a squat, it's 10 times better than lunges. It just doesn't look so regular.
Basically, you just want to decrease as many variables as you can. In a sense, where you're doing a lunge, you have so many different areas of muscle groups to focus on.
If you're doing lunges, you think you can really go to muscular failure with the quads? It's not. It's just like overall, like your balance goes, and it's just, you know, as a bodybuilder, it's just not really that effective. And you know, how many guys really want to emphasize their glutes and need more size in their glutes? It's very, very rare, you know. If you wanted to, maybe lunge is one of the exercises you could do.
It's actually a negative thing, isn't it? I mean,
you know, when I started squatting, my ass was getting big and my legs were like growing, but then, you know, and it's spoiling the symmetry. If I can keep my hips smaller and that whole area smaller and more size on the quads, it gives the illusion of more size as well.
A lot of the modern bodybuilders, like, I don't mean modern, but I mean, if you were considered old school and this is new school, they seem like they always have like the bigger glutes and everything, but maybe that just comes along with more mass.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems to throw the symmetry off a little bit, like you said. It makes your leg look more like a carrot.
Yeah,
as opposed to the heavier weight at the bottom.
Heavy squatting, you tend to get a lot of, you know, glutes are the most powerful single muscle in your body, so, and they're involved in squatting, so, and they're going to grow. But it's very rare that you would see a bodybuilder on stage and think, oh, he needs more glutes. Yeah.